First, let's take a look at the background and qualification of Madam Nur Shahira binti Jamal Shah. She is a registered counsellor with the license number KB08769. And let's take a look at her academic foundation. She has a really solid academic background in psychology and counselling education. She graduated with her bachelor's degree in human science, majoring in psychology from the International Islamic University Malaysia (IUM). After that, she continued her studies and obtained her master's degree in education, focusing on guidance and counselling from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Next, moving over to her professional credential, she is fully authorized by the Malaysian Board of Counsellors (LKM) to ensure high ethical standards in her practice. She actually started her licensing process with LKM back in 2019 and was awarded with full practicing credential as a registered counsellor in 2020. Currently, she actively provides her services at Management and Science University. Now, moving on to her work setting and environment, she is practices within the Specialized Student and Career Development right at Management and Science University. Next, if we look at her target client base, she is highly dedicated and responsible for supporting students at literally every stage of their university journey, all the way from foundation, degree, and up to master's level. Her main goal here is to ensure they receive proper guidance and care throughout their studies. Lastly, a big part of her work environment involves a collaborative teamwork. She doesn't work in isolation, but instead, she closely collaborates with other units under the same department when need to handling any programs such as Eid celebration. Every single staff also receive the necessary guidance and resources based on their roles, which helps to ensure that all responsibilities can be carried out smoothly and accurately. Next up, let's talk about her job description and scope, which basically outlines what she does on a daily basis. Her roles can be broken down into three main areas. First, we have administrative duty. Apart from her core tasks, she handles administrative oversight. This means she is responsible for coordinating student engagement projects and managing therapeutic outreach initiatives, all under the supervision of the SCD department. Second, and perhaps the biggest part of her role, is counselling session. She coordinates and delivers both individuals and group counselling intervention. This session usually target critical academic hurdles, private personal conflicts, as well as the socio-emotional challenges that students might be facing. Lastly, she is also heavily involved in student development. She provides professional support for students' career mapping. On top of that, she helps with the psychosocial development by organizing and conducting scheduled workshops and developmental programs. Moving on to the next slide, let's talk about the remuneration and support system provided for her role. This is divided into two main categories: career development and organizational benefits. First, let's look at career development and growth. The institution guarantees specialized training courses that are mapped directly to the counselling roles. They also sponsor ongoing training opportunities so that practitioners can keep their contemporary skills sharp and up to date. On top of that, they actively encourage peer review networks, which really helps facilitate continuous improvement among the team. Next, we have the organizational benefits. Overall, the institution provides great support to safeguard practitioners' well-being and offers clear career growth path, which allows the work to be done both promptly and accurately. In terms of resource access, every functional unit is provided with complete operational toolset and materials, meaning they have everything they need to do their job. Lastly, for career pathways, there are structured and transparent pathways for promotion and internal specialization right within the SCD department. Next, let's take a look at the client's issue that she typically handles in her role. These are divided into three main categories. First, we have academic pressure. Students often come to her dealing with general study-related stress and poor time management. She also supports those who experience intense exam anxiety, as well as students who feel completely demotivated, especially when dealing with online learning. Second, she handles issues related to the personal and social relation. This includes helping students manage heavy peer pressure, and she also guides them through various conflicts, whether it's friendship, family, or romantic relationship. On top of that, she helps students who are having hard time adjusting to university life in general. Lastly, she addresses various mental needs, Since her client base range all the way from young foundation student to the adult master student, she has to manage a really wide range of issues depending on the student's maturity level. Now, let's take a look at the counseling theories and techniques that she applies when working with students. She mainly relies on two major approaches. The first approach is cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT. For this technique, she helps students identify their thought, which means learning to notice and challenge negative thinking patterns. From there, she works on restructuring their mindset by basically helping them replace those unhealthy patterns with much more positive ones. She also introduced coping tools, providing students with practical ways to handle their daily stress. Lastly, she encouraged building routines habits, which are simple daily practices that can be specifically helps reduce exam worry. Moving on to the next slide, let's talk about the professional challenges faced by her throughout her career. There are two main challenges highlighted here. First, we have the challenge of solo unit establishment. While she was working at an international school, she faced the huge problem of building, organizing, and structuring a counseling department entirely from scratch. This means she had to set up all of the operation without any existing framework or historical guideline to refer to. The second major challenge is overcoming public stigma. This represents an ongoing effort on her part to break down social hesitation and skepticism surrounding therapy. Her goal here is to guide students to view clinical help seeking behavior as something completely normal, positive, and proactive rather than something to be ashamed of. Finally, let's look at the self-care and industry advice shared by Madam Nurul Shahira. This advice is incredibly valuable for anyone looking to enter this field, and it can be broken down into 4 key points. First, she emphasized having strict boundaries. It is very important to know your personal limits. This means knowing when to extend or reschedule sessions specifically to avoid burning out. Second is emotional regulation. She suggests practicing what she calls switch on and the switch off method. Essentially, this means learning to leave client issue behind in the counseling room the moment you step out. Third, she suggests early networking. For us as a student, she advises building professional connection during our studies to gain exposure and unlock better career opportunities early on. Lastly, she emphasized skill sharpening. We should actively join programs, workshops, and volunteer work to continuously strengthen our counseling skill and personal growth.